So here in section 3, we're going to talk about endocrine system. It is very important part of the body and like one of the most important systems in the body. The first part, which going to manage all the other parts, is going to be pituitary gland. It is in your brain, actually. It is at the top, and it literally tells other parts when to release hormones. Then comes thyroid. Like you can see here, it is in your neck. It is responsible for different responsibilities basically, and it can just control how fast your body gonna burn energy and how quickly your body gonna work. So basically, I mean, I guess you heard that, like there are some people, they are like they do have like lazy thyroid, or they do have hyperactive thyroid. So since like this part is just very important about energy and burning energy, if you would have like some sort of lazy thyroid, you're gonna feel always like tired, or in the same temperature, you would just feel like colder than everyone else. And it can just bring you a lot of problems like overweight. Even though you wouldn't eat much, you're gonna gain a lot of weight. So thyroid is just very important. So if you feel like any sort of discomfort that's gonna be related to thyroid, you have to address it, because it is kind of related to depression and other mental disorders as well. So the next part gonna be adrenal glands. It is like we do have it, I guess here, yes. It is like basically like a hat on top of your kidney. It's kind of cute, but it does have different parts. And each part of it is just responsible for different types of hormones. The outer part gonna be cortex, obviously, and the middle part or the inside part gonna be medulla, and they do have other responsibilities that I'm gonna tell you. But for now, just keep that in your mind. They actually help a lot with stress management and controlling blood pressure. We're going to talk about this soon. Then comes sex hormones, which gonna be ovaries for women, which is very responsible for pregnancy stuff and menstrual cycles. And like I said, it is only in people who gonna be identified biologically as women. Then comes testes, which is only in guys, in men. And it is responsible for like muscle growth and changing voice during puberty, and like other work that's going to be related to your puberty and sexual differences. So the whole endocrine system gonna be run by, like I said, pig gland and also hypothalamus. We already talked about adrenal gland. We said that it's gonna be like a hat on top of your kidney. So here is just some sort of example for you to just understand how adrenal gland activity gonna be during the stressful moments in everybody. Like you can see, here is a stress. So based on whether like pig gland gonna respond or sympathetic nervous system gonna respond, we do have like different parts of adrenal gland that's gonna release hormone. So we do have the same phenomena. It's gonna be a stress. If we would go from pig gland, we can see adrenal cortex gonna release hormones that is related to some sort of increasing protein and fat mobilization. It can just literally help your body to just be more calm and just be in a protecting mood by, for example, producing antibodies, or, for example, regulating sodium retention in your body. Then comes adrenal medulla, which is basically related to the fight condition. Okay, for example, you do have a stress, sympathetic nervous system gonna tell your body to fight. Okay, this telling part gonna be from adrenal medulla, in which actually you're gonna have higher blood pressure and higher heart rate. You're gonna have a lot of blood in all of your muscle tissues, so you're gonna be ready to run or to fight. You're gonna just breathe more fastly, and you're gonna have like your pupils gonna be bigger, because you are kind of either stressed or scared or something like that. So these kind of activities in general, it's called as fight or flight. So if it comes from pig gland, it's gonna be flight. But if it would become from sympathetic nervous system and adrenal medulla, it's gonna be fight, and you're gonna stay and fight with the stress, or you're gonna just go to a protective mood. We already talked about different disorders that's going to be responsible, that's going to be related to a CNS system or nervous system. Now we're going to talk about disorders that are common in endocrine system. There are some disorders, but the most famous one is diabetes. I know that all of you guys heard about this because it's very common, especially in these days. It is all about your level of sugar in your body and a hormone that's going to be called insulin. I guess you heard about this too. We have two types of diabetes. We have diabetes number one and number two. Diabetes number one gonna be autoimmune disorder in which like your own body gonna literally destroy cells that's gonna produce insulin. Okay, so just imagine since it is like autoimmune, it means like your own body fighting with your own cell. Okay, this is type one. In type 2, your body it's not like producing enough insulin, and maybe your body is not sensitive to it, so it's going to be type 2. One point about type 1 is type 1 is very common in children, but type 2 gonna be more common in adults. About the gene and environment, like whether it is like based on genetics or whether it is based on environment, it seems like both of them, they do have some sort of biological roots. So if you have like some sort of siblings or close family member that they have diabetes, you are susceptible to get diabetes at some point. So you have to be very careful about your sugar intake or about your diets or something like that. However, it seems like type 2 is just more relevant and more sensitive to biological roots. So if, for example, you have an aunt, or if you have like, if your mother or your dad is just having like diabetes, it is very possible for you to get the same disease as well. So just be careful. Or whenever you are just having a patient and you're just talking to them, just make sure you're going to check their file and just knowing that, for example, they do have some family members in their family with diabetes or not before just giving them prescription or something like that.